If you are here because you simply want to do more for your SaaS or maybe your own agency website, etc., but you feel like, one, it's really expensive to work with a developer to keep updating these pages, and two, you don't know how to update these pages, but you know how to prompt, then you're in the right place, because I recently came across something that ended up saving me, honestly, $1,000 this month or more, because I'm looking to get into a few things. I want to build more resource pages on our website. I want to add more alternative pages and comparison pages to our website. And I just want to add more deep and dope content to our website without it being an arm and a leg. The fact of the matter is, I have a lot of things I have to focus on when it comes to Gem Social. And as of today, today's the 15th. Today's when taxes are due. And that's what I've been spending a lot of my time on, amongst other things like marketing, QA feedback, seeing if KPIs are being reached or where we're at. Like, so many different things I have to do. So I don't always have time to do the activities that might take hours. But sometimes I still like to get my hands dirty, get some things done. But if it's something that could take less than an hour of my time or up to an hour of my time per day, then I do typically do it, because I like to contribute to my company until we get to a certain point where we can delegate all of these things to the right professional. And even with the people we have delegated, we don't want to max them out with things that I could already take on. But this is a high value task, and I do believe that in this tutorial today, you will seek value on using Claude to generate pages that you can also inject into your website on Webflow specifically. So this is not if you have WordPress, Squarespace, anything like that. This conversation is only if you have Webflow, just to put that out there. In the future, I can explore those other things, but right now I am tailoring this to my experience. So I'm going to start off with going to Claude, and I already generated some pages. I will prompt this again just so you can understand where I landed. So the first thing I wanted to create alternative pages because they were looking pretty messed up currently. So I would like to, let's start over and let's actually just create a prompt that can take your page, like go on your website, see what your website offers, and then creates alternative pages against your competitors. One of our competitors is Gliwi. So we already have one created, but I'm going to ask it to make an alternative page for another competitor that we have, which would be SocialCat. So I'll say, generate an alternative page following our brand kit. I'm going to take a pause there. If you have a brand kit, I would suggest uploading the brand kit first. So especially for your website, brand kit for your website, upload that first, so that way it can stay consistent with your templates on your website, right? So that's number one. But make this page be focused on Gem Social, the SocialCat. We could use the SocialCat. This may have already been done, by the way, because we already have pages being done, but just keep this in mind. So you could figure out who are your top 10 competitors. If you don't know that already, I would understand that I would need to understand, should be the first thing you should know first. Your brand kit as well, just to make sure that the template is that Claude builds, looks very much like the one in Webflow. And then I will also say what I need back. I need the schema markup to put in the head tag, and I need the HTML file as well to copy into Webflow, the meta description, and page title. Taking a look. Oh, I'm also going to recommend that you make sure that it is mobile and desktop responsive, because I can imagine that many of your customers, leads, etc., might come from mobile. They might be using their Safari or Google Chrome on their phone, because most people are on the go. Ensure that the page is responsive on both desktop and mobile. Lastly, make sure that the design is readable, as this has been a reoccurring issue. So I had an issue with the readability, so I think this was already fixed, but just in case, again, I already worked with Claude a couple times on this, so prompts are going to be maybe slightly different, but I would just ensure that, again, make sure that you guys have the brand kit, already have some kind of description of your product and service if you don't have a website already. If you do have a website, Claude should be able to read through your Webflow website. If you have Claude downloaded to your MacBook, let's say, it can even use the MCP server and pull up your website and scan it. Otherwise, you could just take a screenshot and you can just put it into the prompt. So that way it scans through your website to see what you offer as well. So I'll let this start generating, and then I'll be back when it's done. All right, y'all. So let's see what came up. I'm pretty excited, actually. Okay, it looks like it's actually, all right, still working on those outputs. All right, and boom, you know, we have, yep, this is looking good. This is looking good. So we have a comparison page. So it's even saying where Social Cat falls short. Wow, it's going straight for the jugular. But, you know, people want the real, right? At the end of the day, you know, even if there's things about Gem Social that doesn't stand out and Social Cat did the reverse, you know, hey, like, you know, that's the name of the game. But this is a real side comparison as well. And this is awesome. It also has other, you know, comparisons of products, just in case. But this is the point of this page is so it could be as resourceful as possible. So I walk through this practice with you because now I would like to show you guys how I can get this into Webflow. Now, currently I do this manually. I know that there's connectors. I don't currently have this connector yet or trust it yet. So I'm going to take the manual approach because I want to make sure that this is done, you know, with ease. I have tried to get Claude to just inject it itself. I haven't been able to perfect it. I think that Claude and Webflow are still working through that connector. So there is one that exists. I just don't fully trust it yet. But we're going to go to this top part right here. And we're going to collect this and click copy. So that's number one. I'm going to create a new page. And this will be, I'm just going to take all this info from Claude. So Gem Social versus Social Cat. It's not going to be 2025. It's 2026. So I'm going to put that, you know, Gem Social versus the Social Cat. Oh, it's just Social Cat. Okay. And I would just, don't be like me, just copy and paste. I don't know why I get satisfaction out of typing it, but let's just, for the sake of the tutorial, let's just copy it. And I'm just changing this to 2026. Now, just because this is the page name doesn't mean that we need to, it doesn't mean that the slug needs to be this, right? So let's see what they recommended for the slug. Oh, you know what? I probably didn't ask for the slug. So I would rely on Claude for this. I want to make sure that the slug is up to date. So I'm just going to ask, you know, hey, Claude, act like a SEO strategist because we want this to rank as part of our goals to getting to 100,000 clicks a month this year. Please provide all necessary data for SEO, such as meta description, slug, page title, schema markup, etc. Everything that is needed for this Webflow implementation. So let's let that spin up and generate everything that we need, because I want to make sure that all the fields that we need to fill out here, as you can start seeing it, you know, it gets filled out. We had some of this, but I just want to make sure we have all of this. And this is where you can really lean into Claude to get this, you know, and not have to do the manual work. You know, even recording this, it's still less than 10 minutes in, even with, you know, taking pauses. So just keep that in mind, right? So let's see if it's already started generating. Yep, it looks like it's already building it out for us. So I'll be back once it's done. Okay, so now you can see they have really went in. They went in on a SEO implementation guide. They did keyword research on all 17 pages. Remember, originally I did ask for 17 pages prior to this tutorial. So that's all broken down as well. Yeah, I even broke down the full page specs and everything. So you can see how granular you can get with this, just to keep this in mind. Right. So I personally just want the URL slug for this one. So I will go back up to the Social Cat. It looks like I got so much info out of this. And this is clearly valuable, right? So this is cool. Okay, so Social Cat Alternatives is the slug. So I will, you see, this is not the same slug from the page name. So just don't make that mistake. Okay, so Social Cat Alternatives. All right, then the next thing that was needed that we already have from the previous prompt is the meta description. So let me go back down to that. That was from yesterday. So I hope it didn't just, looks like it skipped one of mine, but I could pull it from here. That's okay. So the meta description for Social Cat is right here. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so I could click this to get it open in my G Drive and pull it from there. So that's fine. Usually I just copy and paste it from Claude, but for the sake of this, you can also see that it can be added to your G Drive. So I'll just go down to the Social Cat one. Yep, here we go. So I got the page title, I got the slug, I got everything I needed. So I'm going to just copy and paste that in here. Boom, pull. The next thing I need to make sure I have is schema. So this is the schema for Social Cat to put into the head tag. All right, boom. So I copy this. So this is going to go down into this head tag available. So it's not actually going to be right here. Believe it or not, it's actually going to be right here, because this is to go into the head tag. Yep, same. All right, and then we actually want to make sure we generate the page too, right? So I'm going to just create the page. And then you're probably like, well, where's the content? The content will be added. So the page is now generated. We're going to go here to code embed and add that into the page. And now that's where we have to grab that custom code, right? That was developed. So if you guys want to create a template, that would be in a different tutorial. But for now, I create these custom. I don't mind, for sure. But if you ever want to go in there, update copy, much easier. You can create a template as well. I'm just using this to show you how to quickly get this, get the page going for now to save money. So I'm going to click back onto the Social Cat one. And as you can see, you could just copy it. This is the one from earlier. And then we'll copy this in here, and we want to test it to see that, you will need to publish this, but don't publish this onto the main website. Let's just test this on Webflow first. So let's publish it to that first. So let's just wait for that. Okay, so now we'll click on this just to see how this is coming out, because if there's any issues, of course, we want to make sure we take it back to Claude. So, all right, looking good, looking good. Aha, except right here. So it looks like this has been an issue I ran into. So I would just take this, and screenshot it, because you got to know what's going on. Why is it showing up like this? So now I can say everything looks good up until the common questions, and up until the content below. It appears fine in Claude, but not in Webflow. So let's see what's going on there, because this could be a situation you run into, so you want to make sure that you know how to find the solution. All right, y'all, so we were actually able to fix it. So shout out to Claude. Claude caught it. So it looked like there was a root cause with the page background color, and it was slipping into different sections of the page. So like we know, and it says right here, Claude is AI and it can make mistakes. But I would say this, it probably makes a lot less mistakes than a human would. And as you can see, it still hasn't even taken 20 minutes or a time to set up the foundation of this, and it went in and fixed all of my pages. So when I copy and paste these in for the next 17 of them later on, it probably already caught those issues too. So what I did is I went in and I did add the new code into the code embed. I did update all of this already just for the sake of time. And I already pulled it up and was able to verify that it works. So we already added in everything we needed for SEO. This was the last part, which was added in the code. Now we want to publish it, because now it is complete, and we will publish this right here. And that finish up, tidy up, and now it's done. And now we have gem.social/Social Cat Alternatives, and it is looking good. It's looking good. Of course, I went in and tested, just to make sure that it goes to our free trial page, all the things that needs to do. It goes to our plan page, our planning page and stuff, which is our pricing page. But maybe in the future I might change this so it's not, black when it clicks on it. Like, these are little things that you can change. But the fact that in this 20-minute tutorial, it's my first time making this kind of tutorial anyways, right? But in these 20 minutes, you were able to get a page done just like this, and duplicate and switch out copy for your competitors. 17 pages in 20 minutes, it's insane. And it's unheard of, So just think of ways that you could use this, ask Claude how you could, potentially stand out from your competitors with your website. Your website is one of the most important, if not is the most important piece of your marketing strategy, right? So make sure you leverage it so it can do the work for you. The last thing I do want to mention, just because a lot of people don't have this in their tutorials, is that you want to make sure that all that hard work didn't go to waste. You want to make sure that Google indexes this page, right? So I already went in here and just put this in. It's going to show that it's not indexed. Why is it not indexed? Because we just created it. So you're going to want to request indexing. So that'll take some time, you know. So make sure that you guys are getting these pages indexed. Sometimes people just make a page and they're not even indexing it. So people aren't even going to be able to see it. All that hard work for nothing, right? You know, so it'll take a minute or two to do this. But as you can see, you know, it was, yep, there you go. Indexing was requested, and I'll keep it posted. But this was done with Google Search Console. So if you haven't already set up a Google Search Console to submit your pages to be indexed, please do that today. Like, that is a huge thing. I can go in on a different conversation or tutorial about Google Search Console, but please make sure you have an account set up. It's free, and this is how you can submit your pages to get indexed. There are several ways to do this. This is just a personal way that I use. Some people have SEO tools that they can do it through, but for the most basic person that has no knowledge about SEO, please sign up for Google Search Console. So you can see, you know, the clicks are coming to your website. Google Analytics, you can do that as well. But you can also leverage this to track the performance, see what pages are bringing in the most traffic. So that way you can stay up to date with those pages as well. And making sure that your pages that you want found on the web, on Google, you know, to request those to be indexed, because Google will not assume that you want that to be published on Google, literally. You know, it might be an internal page for your employees, you know, for onboarding and stuff. So there's plenty of reasons why Google just doesn't go and just automatically index pages, right? You know, so make sure that you have a resource tool with Claude and add that into the Jump Social website. So stay tuned.